Your nervous system is telling you this is new now. What's going on? I did not know what was going on with me. And I know when things happen in life, the first thing that I do is pray. I leave it to God. But like I said, this situation was so unexpected. Ambiguous loss. I think that's what it's called. I'm going to have to kind of just put, I'll put that in the description box below for you guys. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. This is your space to heal naturally, grow spiritually, and glow holistically. I used to think that I was stuck, but I wasn't stuck at all. What if my nervous system was actually responding to life transition that I actually didn't know how to actually manage? Because no one actually tells you this. But sometimes what feels like confusion could actually well be protection for yourself. I'm currently going through a season of my life which feels a little bit shaky, a little bit uncertain, and these are the things that I'm asking myself right now. What is actually happening to me? What if my body is actually responding correctly? I'm trying to really acknowledge my nervous system regulation because of how I feel inside. It feels foreign. It feels very vague, very uncertain, like I said. And I will go in a bit more detail of what I'm actually experiencing. Not too much detail, but just enough to give you guys an understanding of this life transition. And really is something that I'm learning. Haven't mastered it yet, but I'm learning to regulate my nervous system during this time. And so this video is going to be more of a coaching style video, because why not? I am a coach. I am really just trying to coach myself as well as others. And I feel like the way to deal with life situation is to really speak to ourselves, ask the questions that needs to be asked in order for us to get to the place where we need to get to. Again, this is a faith-led channel. Is all based on the Holy Spirit and what it actually teaches you along your life transitions. And so I'm going by what the Spirit is telling me, and that's based on the Word of God, because the Word of God is the voice of God, and what's in the Bible is what I actually live by. So I try my very best to ask myself questions based on what God tells me about me, and to really get to the root of the problem, or even find a solution to the transition that I'm actually feeling that's not quite going well, feeling a bit tucky, or am I fighting against it? Is it really life? Sometimes life is life, and certain situations that we face or that we go through, we can't actually explain them because we haven't actually gone through them yet. So this is a way for me to really just check in with myself and see and understand what's happening. So the key tension that I'm sitting with right now is ambiguous loss. I hope I'm saying this right. People call it ambiguous loss. I call it grief. And just to give you guys an understanding, it's not the grief somebody actually passed on, but it is a grief that is not allowing you to get closure, because the person or the thing or the situation is still there. So this is what I'm experiencing right now. The situation wasn't a, how do I say it? It wasn't really something that I expected. It happened suddenly. And again, it might just be the way that God wanted it to be for that time. But I can't ignore my emotions, and I can't ignore my nervous system during this time. There was a very strong bond, a very strong attachment to the situation. And so I found it really difficult to navigate this. And what I've actually experienced was a blip, a shock to my system, especially with how I was actually dealing with my daily routine and my goals and everything that I was working towards. Almost feels like has to be on standby until I deal with the situation. And I know that time, silence, and distance will eventually fix things. But I also truly believe allowing God to deal with whatever emotion that is and allowing Him to help me navigate this new stage of my life is very important. I don't agree with doing things on my own. I've done it for many years, trying to find resolutions that really was based on my own strength rather than what the Father was actually teaching me at that time. Now, the question is, what if I'm not stuck? But my nervous system is actually in some type of protective response to this transition. This is a important question. I'm asking myself this question right now because I had to sit down and really understand and navigate this whole situation. Like I said, I felt a response in my body. My nervous system got affected because it was new. It was a new feeling. It was a new emotion. I've never felt this before. I felt grief when a member of my family passed away, but I wasn't that close to them. Though they were an important part of my life, there wasn't a strong bond compared to the situation that I'm actually experiencing right now. And so I felt like my body was reacting to it. And I kid you not, it was for a whole week of mixed emotions. There was sadness, there was anger, there was just blaming myself and blaming the other person, blaming other people, really just going on and on about the situation and just a lot of negativity, but then also positivity. It was just like mixed emotions, right? That I couldn't actually understand or figure out. And it's almost like my nervous system was just trying to puzzle everything together. But because I haven't actually been able to sit down at that time to evaluate the situation, this is the reason why I feel the way I did. And that was a terrible experience, you guys. And I just wished that somebody or someone could have actually gotten us ready for life experiences. But life is not everybody that will experience that. And I feel like God will not allow me to go through this for no reason. He is allowing me to go through this to teach me something, to really prune me, crush me for a reason. And I don't know what it is, but I know that growth comes with those pains. Experiences of life teaches you things. So though I'm grateful that I'm able to now sit under this and grow with it, it's still painful. It still hurts and it's still very uncomfortable. Right now, I'm really trying to recognize a pattern that I have seen before. And my channel is all about health and wellness, beauty, and all of that stuff, and inner healing, faith-led based approaches. And through this experience, I had to really sit and really understand the pattern that I'm seeing with my performance. And I know God doesn't want us to just perform and you just be the best version at all times. There are times that we will cry, there are times we will grieve, there are times we will be joyful. That's just what life is, and that's what the book of Ecclesiastes actually teaches us. But I had to see patterns that I've seen before that I'm not really happy with. So during this time, obviously, through that, I experienced burnout again. Believe me, burnout turned up again. Just emotional fatigue, resistance, and just overthinking. Things that I thought I had dealt with, patterns and ways that I thought that I've dealt with, habits that I thought I've kind of put aside, but they came up again. So it is human habits, it is human nature to worry and overthink. I get it. But to the point where it became so negative that I was allowing the situation get the best out of me. I had to step out of that mindset straight away. Obviously, after praying, just self-introspection and understanding where this is leading me. And so, honestly speaking, I fell back. But then the reason why I'm able to now just step back up again is by just sitting with the emotion, understanding what is actually bringing up. because I feel like situations in life bring up things that is still there dormant, that still needs to be dealt with. I simply gently challenge, let's say, the things that I needed discipling in, and allowing God to work within those areas that I needed to really address. And I'm still going through it right now. I'm still trying to really regulate all of that, not with my own strength, but with God. I, of course, noticed that I was falling back into depletion again instead of alignment. And I don't want to go back to that dark space of feeling empty, constantly saddened, or constantly down about a situation that I have absolutely no control over, right? And that was the hard thing to see, that there was a pattern that was actually rising up again. And this journey of life is teaching me that you will experience those things, but it's how you respond to it. This is what makes you a better human. How do you respond to those life transitions that you've got no control over? I allowed myself to apply my 3-part internal scan. And this is something that I talk about all the time, and that is time, distance, and silence. For time, I had to ask myself, am I rushing time together or avoiding it? For distance, I had to ask myself, am I emotionally distanced with myself, with God, or others? For silence, I am asking myself, am I avoiding stillness because it feels so loud in the outside? Those 3 questions are so essential when you are coaching yourself, when you're going through life transitions, because it will allow you to check in with yourself. This is absolutely, for me, a game changer, because I feel like if I don't ask those 3 questions to myself, and if I don't answer them, there is a problem. And I was able to just sit with those and answer them. The first question was time. I'm not allowing time to do what time needs to do. And I had to understand my time is not God's time. I needed to understand that I can't rush the process. I needed to sit down with the situation and allow God do what he needed to do with me and within me, within his time. In relation to distance, I had to check in with myself. Am I really disconnecting with people? Am I disconnecting with God or me? And the question was yes. When you go through a life situation, regardless what it is, you will automatically withdraw, and you will automatically just step away from even speaking to anybody, or even just connect with others, or even connect with yourself. You will find it quite difficult. And I found it so difficult to connect with myself because I was constantly blaming myself. And I was just like, I wasn't even looking at myself in the mirror. That's how bad it was. I wasn't looking at myself in the mirror. And the next following week, I thought to myself, no, I need to face facts, you know what I mean? And face what I'm actually scared of. I was scared of myself because I was blaming myself for the situation. And though I played part, and I have to say it, I played a part, but I wasn't the only person, and I had to remind myself that. And that helped me a lot. The second coaching question I am asking myself right now is, where in my life my nervous system running my behavior instead of my discipline or faith? So this is a coaching to myself. So I'm asking myself this question, and my nervous system really ran the whole thing. I did not know what was going on with me. And I know when things happen in life, the first thing that I do is pray. I leave it to God. But like I said, this situation was so unexpected, and the way that it happened was so painful that my nervous system was just not registering the whole situation. And so I did allow it to run my decisions, my discipline, my faith. And that is something that I had to realign and adjust, understanding that just chill now. Let's step away from the situation in order for us to see where we're at, what we are doing, what we are navigating, because this is new. Because your nervous system is telling you, this is new now. What's going on? and it did allow it to run it ran actually, and I even feel like, you know what, and I had to go to work and all with my work chores and all of that stuff while my whole world was just being moved. At this point, I'm now understanding that regulation begins with awareness. I am understanding what's going on. I was able to research about it, found the actual term for the emotion, which is called ambiguous loss. Ambiguous loss. I think that's what it's called. I'm going to have to just I'll put that in the description box below for you guys. But I had to sit with that emotion and I had to understand it and I had to research about it. And it is something that has always happened, but it is getting very popular in this generation. I'd say that the Gen Zs mainly, the millenniums were, but the Gen Zs are really just forcing the trend. And I didn't think that I would ever be part of that. But this is it. This is basically is awareness, understanding what it is, whatever situation it is, whatever life transition that you're experiencing, or whatever loss it is, you have to be aware of that. So I had to bring awareness to the situation and educate myself about it. And I'm not trying to fix everything. I'm just trying to notice what's going on, analyze things, because I'm a big thinker. I think a lot, which I don't think is a great thing, but it allows me to analyze situations better rather than jumping into actions to try to fix things. So really just stepping back and sitting on whatever you're feeling for a while before moving to the next stage and before trying to fix anything is so helpful. During this season of my life, I'm not trying to discipline myself by force or put pressure on anything that I was actually doing before, because that is where my nervous system was just not, it was not regulated. I was trying to keep a pace, or the pace that I was working with before, while I was going through this situation. So I had to learn to just ease up on the pressure and just be just calm about the whole situation. And I don't put pressure on anything, by the way. I like to just let things flow. But sometimes you need to push yourself. You need to push yourself to wake up early. You need to push yourself to eat better, to work out. You need to push yourself to be positive and just work towards your wellness journey and fitness or whatever that you're working towards. You need to push yourself. But when it comes to a life transition or a situation that you currently navigate in, it is so important to try to ease that pressure. So I had to ease that pressure. I am not trying to force myself to work out five times a week. I have replaced that with just normal gentle walks because I can't be working out during this time. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't want to stop what I was trying to work towards, which is my health, my fitness. So there is still a level of activity with my body, but not as it was before. And that's just an example. Eating healthy. Oh, that was an issue because I'm the kind of person who will pick up the carbs whenever I go through stuff. Listen, forget that. Sugar, carbs, all that bad stuff back into my plate. But I'm not indulging. I'm allowing myself to have a croissant during the week, which I'd cut down. I'm allowing myself to have an extra spoon of honey in my tea. Things like that. I'm trying to not put too much pressure because that can actually make you feel worse. And that can actually put more pressure on your plate in terms of keeping up with whatever you've been doing and not dealing with what's in front of you. I am bringing back spiritual grounding. My faith was affected greatly because I don't know what it was. I just feel like I didn't want to pray. I didn't want to connect with God because of the emotions and the pain that I was carrying. But I am allowing myself to just get back into that spiritual state, that grounding spiritual state, where I'm able to pray in the morning and open my Bible. The first day when all of that happened, I was alone in a room and I had a Bible. And that's all I was reading for at least 15 hours straight. I was worshiping, praying, because that's what actually sustained me. But then soon after, I felt like my nervous system was just not regulated enough to stay grounded. And I just fell. But I'm learning that spiritual grounding is so important during those life transitions. That helps my nervous system to stay regulated, staying in the word, praying, meditating, really allowing God to be with you at that time. Whatever stage you're at, He will meet you there through prayer, through communicating with Him, and through connecting with Him. The third coaching question that I'm asking myself is, what will change my nervous system if I stop fixing my life and started supporting my body first? And like I was saying before, supporting my body first really kind of helped my nervous system to get back into where it was before. Regulated the nerves, regulated the emotions that I was feeling, regulated my hormonal balance, because when your nervous system is messed up, it affects your hormones, it affects your mood, it affects everything else that's going on in within your body. So that is something that I'm really trying to stay in within. I don't want to let that kind of shift what I've actually been doing, or even messing up what I'm actually trying to regulate. And so I stopped fixing my life for a bit. I just stopped fixing my life. I paused on that because I had to just allow the emotions to do what it needed to do without fixing everything else, because that's when your nervous system go out of the window. Then you wonder what happened, what's going on. So I'm not trying to fix anything right now. Then just allowing whatever I'm feeling to just pass through, and allowing the growth in within myself to happen, because that is life. That's the beauty of being a human being, because the situations of life will actually prune you. It will actually crush the oil out of you. But if you're resisting it by fixing everything and doing everything in between, that growth, that pruning, that crushing for the oil will never ever happen. The identity and forward movement that I'm taking now, during this time of my life, is to understand that I'm still in transition and it's okay. I wish I knew this before, with everything that's happened in my life and the experiences that I've actually had. I wish that I knew the time when I was transiting into a new season or a new stage of my life. This tucking and this pulling that I was doing before did not help. And I'm no longer unconscious of it. I'm understanding and I'm embracing it. It's not the best feeling. Pain is not great. Pain is actually very uncomfortable. But I'm embracing the fact that I'm able to sit under it and grow with it. I'm embracing the fact that I'm able to just sit back and allow God to give me the solution that needs to be given for me to move forward, with or without the person or the situation. Because at the end of the day, I have to have my own accounts in front of God on how I dealt with that situation in within, and how I actually allowed it to do what it needed to do in me. I can't run from it. I can't avoid it. It is what it is. So just having that conscious of it is actually what I needed. I am holding this ambiguous loss experience as a life lesson that I will always and forever cherish. I realized that I was also involved into this life transition when I was younger, and it made me feel very aware of this, that I didn't really know that I was actually experiencing it, or that I actually went through it. But when you're young, you just get on with life, right? But as you get older, you're more aware. And so I'm taking this as not being confused anymore. I'm not confused. I'm very much aware of what's going on. And that is the important puzzle when you go through a life transition, because that will help your nervous system to be regulated by knowing how you feel, what you are experiencing, What is this emotion about? How long it'll take to pass? Who can help me? What do I need to do? Do you know, like, all of these questions goes through your head, but if you don't sit down and answer them, that is when our nervous system just go crazy. Right now, I am keeping myself positive. I am telling myself that I'm not behind. I am not broken. I am in regulation. I am building something that is helping me grow, that is helping me to love harder. It's really helping me to love harder and not keep hate, frustration, anger, and all of that negativity affect my heart. I'm coming out of this experience with a bigger love for the person, for the situation, for people around me. And I'm not going to cry. I've done enough crying already. But I thank God for it. I thank God for this lesson. I thank God for this pruning. I thank God for the tucking and sometimes things has to happen for you to just move. You know what I mean? Sometimes something has to happen in within you to feel like I went through something and I'm becoming even more whole than I was before. It is a beautiful feeling to know that you've gone through a terrible thing, but then the love of God still lives in you. It feels great to know that you can still pray for the situation. You can still have hope. You can still love on the person or the situation or the thing, whatever it is that you've lost. It feels amazing. The last coaching question I am asking myself is who I am becoming when I stop reacting to my life and start responding from wholeness instead. Again, we've kind of covered that already. But I'm learning to just remain whole regardless of what's going on. And there is a verse in the Bible, and I'm going to put it on screen now. And it says it's all about going through your heart. It's what's flowing through your heart that affects your life, right? And this is it. How am I actually taking this all? How am I allowing this situation to affect my heart? And I don't want it to affect my heart. I don't want it to be something that I'm going to carry for years and that's going to become bitterness. I don't want it to be something that's going to block my blessing. I'm allowing this situation to go through, to prune me, to change me, and to allow the love of God to reside in within me. Because wholeness comes from God. And this is it. This is what I'm going to do, you guys. I'm coaching myself. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to grasp on. And I just thank God for this video. I didn't know what way I was going to approach this because I didn't want to talk too much about the ins and out. But again, this channel is all about faith-led beauty, health, and wellness. And we are sticking to that. And I'm sharing my own experiences. I'm sharing and documenting my journey as well on this channel, as well as helping others. That is the aim. That is the goal. So those coaching sessions will come handy. Every month, I will be doing those videos for you guys to just check in within yourself if you're going through something similar. And we can coach ourselves, we can coach each other and be better humans. That's the aim. So I'm going to encourage you to join into my community. I do have a community available for you to join in for just 99p per month, you guys. This is going to be a place where we can talk about situations, support each other, whether you're a mother, a wife, a worker, a young girl that's trying to navigate this too, whoever you are. This community is for us to help and support each other. And I encourage you to join in so that we can just grow together and learn, because I haven't arrived yet, you guys. I'm still learning. I'm still being obedient to what God is telling me. And it's a life journey that we can't avoid it. It's a beautiful thing. And I just thank God for, like I said, thanking Him for allowing us to understand His word and understanding where He is actually taking us. I haven't quoted scriptures as such in this video because this is not a Bible study. I do have my Bible study once a month, But everything that I spoke about is based on what God is leading me to do, and the way He is changing my mindset, the way that He's really allowing me to walk through this whole situation with grace, with love, with sympathy for everyone involved. So I also have a free guide for you, you guys. You can download the free guide, have a little read through. It is all about wellness, beauty, and all of that good stuff. So feel free to also download my free guide that I created for you to really just read through and start taking care of yourself. It's so important for us to start taking care of ourselves, our mindsets, our emotions, our bodies, our spiritual wealth as well. Is so important. So I'm going to leave you and love you, and remember, the goal is to be whole. See ya.